Hi everyone, welcome to VRC with Gaurav. In this video, we are going to take a look at CAT 2023 first slot and the third RC passage. Okay, now I know that the standard numbering for RC passages which come in a particular slot of CAT is not possible, but out of the four, a couple of them have already been done and updated in the particular playlist. This is the third one in that playlist, so I hope that if you are going through it chronologically, you'll be able to cover all the passages as and when I make and upload them. Okay, as usual, I recommend that you pause the video here, read the entire passage on your own, then use the timestamps in the description box to go to the questions, jot down the answers on a piece of paper, then come back to this point to go through the explanation and also to check whether your answers are right or not. Okay, chalo, without any delay, let's get started. Very important thing right at the start, I would like to tell you, please don't solve this passage or please don't go through this explanation if you are an absolute beginner with respect to CAT RCs. Okay, because this passage actually falls on the more difficult side of all the kind of RC passages that we might get. After you are a bit accustomed to solving some RC passages of a good quality, then this passage is actually recommended for you to solve. If you are someone who has just started with your prep maybe 15 days, 1 month ago, or maybe even just 2 months ago, I would not recommend that you do this. Okay? You need to at least have solved, let's say a good example would be RC99 Aristotle prep के जो easy low difficulty वाले passages है, you should have solved those already before jumping to passages like this. ठीक है? I am actually making this video. I intended to make this video a bit later on, but I keep on getting requests from a lot of people. Some say, sir, please keep on making RC99 videos. Then some comments say, sir, please make CAT 23 videos, so on and so forth. So I'm trying to juggle between the two. That is why in the middle of my RC99 series, I've made this CAT 23 RC passage video. Okay, all right. Coming to the genre is straightforward humanities, anthropology, something like that. Okay. So what is meant by this genre, where we actually talk about human culture or human beings, how did we evolve, how did our culture evolve, and how do different civilization, different societies of mankind exist around the world. Okay? So around that, this discussion is happening. Once again, another important point I would like to tell you, the passage actually has a lot of depth to it. अगर बहुत विस्तार में हम डिस्कशन करने जाए, बहुत डिटेल में करने जाए, then this video will become literally, it will go out of hand. The options are also very amazing. Amazing in the sense the question setter has used literally excellent vocabulary, excellent words to capture a lot of information in a very short span of a sentence. Okay? Unfortunately, it would not be possible for me to walk you through literally every single such word, but I'll try to touch upon the most important aspects of the passage and the questions. Still, if you have any doubts which are not covered in the explanation, please feel free to drop a comment of your doubt in the comment section. I'll try to reply to you ASAP. Okay? Now, finally getting cracking on it. I'll not be able to use any kind of illustration here. If you have gone through my other videos, so I actually use a lot of illustrations sometimes to drive home the point very easily and quickly. But given the content, even the genre of this passage, not possible for me. So a lot of explanation is going to be purely oral. Okay? Chalo, शुरुआत करते हैं. Author starts out by mentioning a guy, Sahalins. Okay, all right. So he published an essay back in 1972. And what was the name of his essay? Original Affluent Society. All right. What about it? Author says, भाई 50 साल हो गए इस essay को लिख के, meaning that this source material was written in 2022. How has it fared since then? मतलब 50 साल हो गए उस essay को लिखकर by Sahalins. What is the position in society today? And whatever Sahalins wrote, how much of it did it actually turn out, or how much of it was actually applicable? कितना सही था, कितना गलत था? Let's try to evaluate. Okay. Principal argument given by Sahalins was simple but counterintuitive. मतलब सुनकर सही नहीं लगेगा, but argument is very simple. Rather हम जो सोचते हैं उसके उल्टे डायरेक्शन में Sahalins has given his point of view. What is that? Author says, sorry, not author, Sahalins says that foragers, okay, what is meant by foragers? People who go about wandering in search of their food. Now, they might pluck plants, they might hunt animals and they eat. Okay? Now I know that majority of mankind, we know कि अब ऐसे काम नहीं करते. Maybe our ancestors millions of years ago, not millions, but whatever, lakhs of years ago, as man was evolving, our ancestors were foragers at one point of time. But then mankind discovered agriculture and we started farming. then we discovered the use of fire वगैरह also, all of these things, and then civilization took birth. ठीक है? But there are still some very remote areas, very isolated places where there still exist foragers. ठीक है? Meaning that the people, the men and women of that community do not practice agriculture. How do they survive? They literally roam from place to place, getting what they want from nature, and that's it. ठीक है? So these communities are called as foragers. ठीक है? These people are, of course, heavily in contrast to the society as we know today, civilization, which practices agriculture, and hence the economy, the kind of civilization that took place after agriculture evolved. Okay. Author says that Western civilization calls these people as backward. ठीक है? Western civilization has said कि ये जो hunter gatherers, foragers है, ये तो ना दिन रात के struggle में ही है. अगर इनको कुदरत में कुछ खाने के लिए मिल गया, if they're able to find something to eat, then they will be fine. But if not, then boss, what do they do? These guys are living a bad existence. This is an image pushed forward by Western cultures. But Salins has a completely different view. He says ऐसा है ही नहीं. He says that these guys are perhaps living the good life. The good life. What? They satisfied their needs with far less work than people in agriculture and industrial societies. मतलब actual गधे कौन है? हमारी civilization के. हम लोग गधे हैं. हम as in, and when I say गधे, I don't mean stupid. गधा points to donkey work, गधा मजूरी. ठीक है? That we keep on laboring, keep on working hard for what? For some गिने चुने fruits of life. In contrast, we have foragers, this community, who live literally tension free, stress free. These guys don't do more than what is required, and still they are surviving. So the joke is on whom actually? So this is the massive question being raised by Salins in his essay. Okay? He says that in agriculture and industrial societies like us, common citizens like us keep on laboring day and night to fulfill basic needs, while on other hand, foragers are like, घूम लिए, थोड़ा बहुत खाना खा लिया, जो मिला कुदरत में, life is sorted. They don't want anything more than that. ठीक है? They hunters equipped, keep bankers are. This is an amazing way to write. Okay, a bit of fun also. Bankers are additional info I would like to give you. बैंक के hours basically. सुबह 9 बजे खुल जाते हैं और 10 AM whatever. Go until 5 or 6 in the evening. That's it. It's not like you can walk into a bank after 6 PM in the evening, tell them please मेरा check लो या let me withdraw cash or please process this form of mine. Not really. Fixed working hours, right? मतलब a bank का person doesn't really step out of those hours to work. SBI, okay, lunch के बाद आना, something like that. So author says hunters are living this kind of life. Beyond a certain amount of hard work, they are literally living their life. They don't labor endlessly. We people of industrial and agricultural society, we do that donkey work. These guys don't. Okay. इनको ये वो hunger नहीं है कि okay, I want to gather more and more money, more and more possessions, more and more materialistic. No consumerism. Rather, Salins has gone ahead and said कि जो Neolithic revolution आया था when agriculture actually evolved, okay, rather than improving life, it set into motion the entire path to all the problems in a mankind right now. History of growing inequality, ये इसका origin कहाँ से है? Neolithic revolution से, basically agriculture. ठीक है? So in first paragraph, thought process of Salins we can infer very clearly, thinking along very contrary lines, very counterintuitive lines, but he manages to put forward legit point actually. Moving ahead, he says that okay, you might be thinking कि forager community वो है, those people are foragers who don't know how to do agriculture, or maybe agriculture, industry, manufacturing, services, internet, electricity, ये उन तक पहुंचा ही नहीं, इसीलिए बेचारे आज भी घूम रहे हैं. That's not the case. How? Author has mentioned, Salins has given an example, amazing example of this tribe in today's time. Contemporary, I don't know how to pronounce this. Maybe it is Hadza, whatever. Okay. In Tanzania, there is this community. They are foragers. But these guys are aware of agriculture. The place that they live in, let's say that these guys are living, this Hadza community is living in this geographical area, they are surrounded by other civilization, other communities who practice agriculture. And by default, these guys know what agriculture is, but they have chosen not to do this. Meaning that these guys are keeping their forager lifestyle by choice, and still they are able to live properly. It's not a fight for survival. These guys have not gone out of the game. Their community is intact. So what is Salin's pointing here? Very explicitly it is stated around here that this is pretty profound actually. They demonstrated that societies make real choices. मतलब ये सब कुछ choice का नतीजा है उनका. It's not that these guys are ignorant about agriculture and manufacturing. These guys are, this forager community Hadza, they have chosen not to do this. And then actually author of this source material has written a very profound sentence over here, the last one. अगर हम इसके ऊपर में डिस्कशन करने जाए तो it can again become a very long winding discussion, but as you can see, whoever made the RC passage, he has plotted this disconnected dots, trailing dots as I like to call them. Matlab in the original source article, maybe the author elaborated on this sentence, but whoever put together this RC passage for the CAT exam, he decided to cut that part out and keep to the topic at hand. So you need not be bothered if you are not able to understand the last sentence of second para. Second para ka main point kya hai? Salins has given one very credible example of a community who knows about agriculture, who knows about the modern way of living, but they have consciously chosen not to engage in that. Okay? Then moving ahead. Talking coming to the point of the essay, कि Salins ने लिखा क्यों है? What is the primary idea? What is the main idea behind writing this passage? Behind writing this essay? Okay. So the point of the essay is not to tell the world about कि भाई ये forager community देख, वो forager community देख और हम देख हम कितने बड़े गधे. No. An average reader is not concerned about getting random trivial information that अच्छा तंजानिया में एक forager community है. Nice. No. Rather, the purpose of Salins in putting together this wonderful essay is what? I'm highlighting this now. The point of that essay is this. It's trying to pose a conceptual challenge to contemporary economic life and bourgeois individualism. Let me allow me to explain this in simpler terms. The point of the essay by Salins is trying to put forward an alternative, a conceptual challenge. किस चीज को? हमारी कंटेम्पररी आज की अर्थव्यवस्था को, हमारी आज की लाइफस्टाइल. Okay, what is the lifestyle that we live? Basically, it's like you get certain kind of education and you start a career, you earn more and more, and then you increase your means of spending, increase your possessions, right? करियर शुरू किया, आप एमबीए क्यों करना चाहते हो? ज्यादा पैसा, फ्लैट से घर, बंगला, छोटी गाड़ी से बड़ी गाड़ी. ऑल ऑफ दिस इज व्हाट? दिस इज acquisition, this is consumerism at its core, right? So Salins has written this essay to put forward before the world, to put forward before the reader a proper alternative to this mindset. कि ये जो हमारी आर्थिक व्यवस्था है, इसको मैं चैलेंज करना चाहता हूँ. I want to put before you a solid alternative. And in pursuit of that, he has given this revolutionary idea in the first paragraph, along with strongly backing example of this Hadza of Tanzania. Okay. So the goal of this essay is to bring before the reader an imagination of a lot of possibilities. कि ऐसे भी जिंदगी possible है. ठीक है? All right. So what is given to us in the first three paragraph and the tone of the author of this passage seems very appreciative regarding Salins and the conceptual idea which Salins has put forward through this essay. So all in all, काफी positive vibe coming through, a very unique concept coming through on the part of Salins. ठीक है? Moving ahead. A bit of chance of confusion in the first sentence of fourth para. Please pay close attention. आपको mix नहीं करना है. क्या कहना चाहता है author in the fourth paragraph first sentence? That back in 1958, another essay was written by the name of The Affluent Society or The Affluent Society, whatever you like to pronounce it as. Okay. And who wrote it? John Kenneth Galbraith. Okay. ये नाम तो सुना सुना लग रहा है, Affluent Society. Wait a minute. Yes. Why? क्योंकि 1972 सालिन्स के ऐसे का नाम क्या था? Original Affluent Society. So please don't get confused. Okay. What's going on here is we have two essays by two different authors and a fair amount of time apart, 14-15 years. ठीक है? Only slight difference in name. Original Affluent Society. Let me write it as AS. When was it written? It is 1972. Sorry, my bad writing. 1972 by Sahal. Okay. And what do we have on the other hand? We have The Affluent Society. Okay. When was it written? 1958 by Galbraith. Okay. All right. So what's going on? In the fourth paragraph, first sentence, author is saying कि obviously this was written first, this came in later, But through this essay, Stalin has actually given a nod to this essay. This essay had what? Let's use a green color to highlight John Kenneth ka idea, his thought process. Skeptical portrait, basically doubt erase कर रहा है जॉन केनेथ about what? अमेरिका का जो भी अर्थव्यवस्था है, पोस्ट वॉर प्रॉस्पेरिटी, इनइक्वालिटी एंड ड्रिपिंग विद a lot of criticism for consumerism. Okay. So all in all, what do you have is 1958 में गैलब्रेथ भैया लिख के गए कि भाई जो ये अर्थव्यवस्था दिख रही है ना अमेरिका की, द काइंड ऑफ सिस्टम दैट वी आर क्रिएटिंग, आई एम नॉट हैप्पी विद दिस, ये पक्का अपने को किसी दिन तकलीफ देगा. दैट इज द वाइब कमिंग फ्रॉम गैलब्रेथ. And what about Stalin? Does he believe this or is he criticizing this? Actually, he believes this. He is giving a nod to this. मतलब yes, ये बंदा जो लिख के गया था ना, मैं उसी बात को अब आगे आगे बढ़ाने वाला हूँ. The original affluent society. मतलब Stalin ने क्या किया? Stalin brought this critical perspective to bear on the contemporary world. Basically, he is taking he is taking 1958 का गैलब्रेथ का आइडिया, taking it forward in his book 1972 affluent society, original affluent society essay, and he is saying कि जो भी गैलब्रेथ भैया बोलकर गए ना, ये काफी कुछ सही है बॉस. ओके, काफी कुछ सही है. ठीक है. So all in all, what's the vibe that's coming out? That both of them are pretty much in the same boat. ठीक है. And what does Stalin have to say about the world today? He is saying that देखो यार, आज का जो हमारा कैपिटलिस्ट वर्ल्ड है, कंज्यूमरिज्म से ड्रिवन वर्ल्ड है. व्हाट्स कंज्यूमरिज्म अगेन? फ्लैट में रहते हो तो भाई बंगला चाहिए, हैचबैक चलाते हो, वैगनआर चलाते हो तो भाई होंडा सिटी चाहिए, होंडा सिटी चलाते हो तो भाई रोल्स रॉयस चाहिए. दिस इज कंज्यूमरिज्म, वांटिंग मोर एंड मोर. सो कैपिटलिस्ट वर्ल्ड सीक्स वेल थ्रू एवर ग्रेटर मटेरियल प्रोडक्शन. अरे गाड़ी पे गाड़ियां बताओ, आज 1 लाख गाड़ी बनी है फैक्ट्री में, अगले साल 1.5 लाख बननी चाहिए, उसके अगले साल 2 लाख बनाएंगे, सब बेचेंगे. मोर एंड मोर मटेरियलिस्टिक प्लेजर, मोर एंड मोर पोजेशन इंक्रीमेंट. On the other hand, foraging societies, dude is back to his foragers. What are foragers defining their life like? Zen road to affluence. What is Zen here? Zen is actually an ancient Chinese Buddhist philosophy, Chinese Japanese Buddhism का confluence है. Let's not go down that line. What is the thought process of this foraging society? कि भाई हमको ज्यादा नहीं चाहिए, हमको बहुत लिमिटेड चाहिए. Okay, we are happy not by getting more but by wanting less. कितनी पावरफुल बात बोली है. ओके, ऑन द साइडलाइन आई वुड एक्चुअली मेंशन दैट दिस आइडिया इज आल्सो रिपीटेड इन दिस प्रीटी पॉपुलर बुक द साइकोलॉजी ऑफ मनी बाय मॉर्गन हॉसेल, जो कि काफी सारे इंस्टीट्यूट्स में रेकमेंड भी की जाती है एज अ बुक टू रीड for cat prep, or as a book to read, not for cat prep but for very basic readers, the people who are just starting with their reading journey. The Psychology of Money, this book is recommended. It's a good book, so if you haven't read anything like this, so I would also actually recommend reading that book. अच्छी चीज है, बहुत बढ़िया चीज है. Coming back, so what is the thought process of forager society? Let's jot this down here it in clear words. Foragers, they believe this. हमको ज्यादा नहीं चाहिए, हमको कम से कम चाहिए, वांटिंग लेस, जरूरत ही नहीं है. ओके, अगर ऐसी उनकी लाइफ प्रोसीड करती है तो दिस इज हाउ फोरेजर्स आर डिफाइनिंग देयर लाइफ, डिफाइनिंग प्रॉस्पेरिटी. ओके, देन टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ फोर्थ पैराग्राफ, बहुत पावरफुल सेंटेंसेस कमिंग इन, प्लीज पे क्लोज अटेंशन. ऑथर से कि इफ यू आर समबडी जो सोचता है दैट दीज फोरेजर्स, यार ये तो बैकवर्ड लोग हैं, इन तक प्रोग्रेस ही नहीं पहुंचा यार अच्छे से, इसलिए ये लोग ऐसे जीते. तो ऑथर सेज द जोक इज ऑन यू. व्हाई? बिकॉज द आइडिया ऑफ प्रोग्रेस, ऑफ वांटिंग मोर एंड मोर, इनफाइनाइटली एक्सपांसिव डिजायर्स, छोटी गाड़ी से बड़ी गाड़ी, फ्लैट से बंगला, इससे वो, ओके, 20 लाख से 50 लाख का पैकेज, ये सब कुछ जो आइडिया ऑफ प्रोग्रेस है, ये वेस्टर्न कल्चर ने खुद को सेल्फ कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट करने के लिए बनाई है. ओके, it's basically fooling ourselves into believing a very flawed concept according to Stalin. So what is Stalin trying to say? That please don't be pretentious enough, please don't be pretentious, so pretentious that you say that these people are backward, these people have not progressed enough. Okay, in a way the joke is on you. These societies, kaun si these matlab, these forager societies, they are guided by other motivations. Their motivation is not 2 चक्के से 4 चक्के की गाड़ी, नो, देयर मोटिवेशन इज लीजर, मोबिलिटी एंड अबव ऑल फ्रीडम। हम लगे गधा मजूरी में, ये लोग लगे एक और से ज्यादा फ्रीडम पाने, having more and more leisure time, having more and more time for themselves. Okay, so all in all, for the 4 paragraphs here, the 4 paragraphs that we are going here, सालिन का काफी पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड बाय whoever wrote this RC passage, ठीक है, जो भी ये सोर्स मटेरियल जहां से भी लिखा गया है, that guy has a very positive aspect, very positive attitude regarding Sahalin and this essay. But in the last paragraph of this of this passage, the last paragraph, यहाँ पर दो criticism level किया है author ने against Sahalin. Very short, very quick, 2 criticism. What are those? Let's highlight in a different color. Okay. Not every aspect of the essay of Sahalin has aged well. What's happening? Yeah, Sahalin acknowledges the violence of colonialism, racism and dispossession. ठीक है, वो मेंशन करता है खुद के बुक में कि हाँ यार, कोलोनियलिज्म गलत चीज हुई, रेसिज्म जो दुनिया में, ये अच्छी बात नहीं है, बट ही डज नॉट क्रिटिसाइज दीज थिंग्स एज हेवीली एज वी डू टुडे। आज तो हम कितना गाली देते हैं ना, पकड़ पकड़ के रेसिज्म इज क्रिटिसाइज, पकड़ पकड़ के कोलोनियलिज्म इज बीटन डाउन, कि हाँ ये गलत चीजें थी और तुम एक्सेप्ट करो। But Sahalin, way back in 1972, in his essay, did not do this very heavily. So ये एक थोड़ा सा complaint है author को of this passage with Sahalin. Secondly, another criticism is from this sentence, rebuke से लेकर Paleolithic तक. Now I am intentionally not explaining this very long sentence because difficult है ये sentence explain करने में. Okay. And it would create a lot of digression. Author is pointing to a shortcoming in the thought process or a possible danger, a possible shortcoming that can creep in the thought process of Sahalin over here. ठीक है, but let's move ahead. Let's try to save a bit of time. Very quickly, what is to be taken into account here is that even after pointing this shortcoming, the author makes a very quick roundabout and he says कि नहीं रुक जाओ, ये shortcoming के बावजूद, in spite of this shortcomings, we should appreciate Sahalin. Okay, कि ये भाई बहुत सही बात बोलकर गए, ठीक है. What is that? That if we want to conjure new possibilities, if you want to dream about a new way of life, you have to actually seriously consider inhabitable systems. As in, Sahalin is strongly recommending कि ठीक है, अगर आपको आज का समाज बदलना है, एक अल्टरनेटिव सोसाइटी अगर इमेजिन करनी है, तो यू हैव टू गिव अ सीरियस थॉट टू सिचुएशंस लाइक दिस. हमारे थॉट प्रोसेस में तो फोरेजर्स आर लिविंग अ वेरी बैड लाइफ, राइट? हमारे लिए तो इनहैबिटेबल है ऐसी दुनिया जहाँ पे यू हैव टू गो अराउंड एवरी डे फॉर योर फूड एंड लिटरली हैव नो पोजेशंस. बट सोचना तो पड़ेगा उस बारे में. यू हैव टू लर्न अबाउट देम एंड गिव दीज आइडियाज अ सीरियस थॉट. Only then possibly you will come up with a dramatic alternative to the existing system. ठीक है? So rounding up the discussion of the passage, सालिन भैया एक ऐसे छोड़कर गए हमारे लिए, very saying कि current जो हमारा economic setup है, driven by a lot of consumerism and a drive to gather more and more, possess more and more, ये बहुत ठीक नहीं है. इसका एक alternative, strong alternative exist कर सकता है. And in pursuit of that, he has given the example of forager community. एंड उसका आज के तारीख में कंटेम्पररी एग्जांपल भी दिया है. दिस ट्राइब एक्चुअली लिव्स इन तंजानिया एंड दे हैव कॉन्शियसली मेड द चॉइस टू नॉट एंगेज इन एग्रीकल्चर, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, सर्विसेज, whatever. They have actively chosen to remain foragers and yeah, they are living. And yes, they do have these positive attributes in their society. ठीक है? A couple of shortcomings pointed out by the author, but he does not dwell on that, rather once again gets back to the appreciative track. Okay, so I hope that you got the narrative. I would like to beg your pardon actually for turning off my camera suddenly because during the time that I'm shooting my video, line जा चुकी है. Line as in I mean electric power. Okay, in my area we call it as a line जाती है. ठीक है, so it's not really back yet, so sorry, I would not be able to turn on my camera. वैसे भी you are not missing out on a lot. Okay, it's not that you get to see an amazing sight on the screen. Okay, coming to the question first, we can infer that Sahalin's ka main goal in writing is essay wow, excellent question. For this you need to read the entire passage because the author has given strong hints here and there, but when one very explicit hint with respect to this question is present in the third paragraph, where it discusses the point of the essay. The point of the essay is not to give you a lot of data कि देखो ये सोसाइटी वो सोसाइटी ये तारा वो तारा. No, the point is to give a conceptual challenge to the contemporary economic system. ओके कि आज की जो हमारी अर्थव्यवस्था है उसको थोड़ा सा सही तरीके से क्रिटिसाइज करना, उसको उसकी जगह दिखाना और साथ ही साथ एक अल्टरनेटिव भी सजेस्ट करना. ओके, and which option highlights that, which option gives us that properly? It gives us only in option A. Hold a mirror to an acquisitive society with examples of other communities that have chosen successfully to be non-materialistic. Amazing word. एक word इस option का कितना प्यारा है. Acquisitive society. Now you might be wondering ये word कहाँ से आ गया? ये तो कहीं दिया ही नहीं है passage में. Basically it's another substitute word for mindless consumerism. Okay. Acquisitive meaning आप अगर एम्बिशन रखते हो कि नहीं मैं तो आज 2 व्हीलर चलाता हूँ, मुझे अब 4 व्हीलर लेना है, वैगन आर लूंगा, फिर वैगन आर के बाद में होंडा सिटी लूंगा और होंडा सिटी के बाद तो मर्सिडीज लूंगा. सो दिस इज एन एक्विजिटिव माइंडसेट. और चाहिए और चाहिए और चाहिए. तो ऑथर सेज कि हमारा समाज पूरा ऐसा बन चुका है एंड सालिन इज गिविंग होल्डिंग अप अ मिरर टू सच अ सोसाइटी कि भाई देखो तुम्हारी हालत कैसी है, क्या बन चुके हो तुम, एंड एट द सेम टाइम गिविंग रियली लेजिट गुड एग्जांपल्स, गुड अल्टरनेटिव्स in return. Why are the other options wrong? Let's walk through them very quickly. B. Highlight the fact that we started off as a fairly contented egalitarian people. Egalitarian, once again, ideally the word is very positive. Egalitarian is where you seek the benefit of the community as a whole, broad level पे, greater good, सबकी भलाई के लिए. So ऑप्शन बी का मीनिंग ये होता है कि सालिन ने ये ऐसे क्यों लिखा, टू टेल मैनकाइंड कि यार हम तो एक जमाने में किसी जमाने में बड़े प्यारे लोग हुआ करते थे, वेयर वी वुड डू गुड फॉर एवरीबडी एल्स, वेयर वी वर वर्किंग फॉर द गुड ऑफ सोसाइटी. लेकिन अब तो हम घटिया हो चुके हैं, हम तो मटेरियलिज्म में, हम तो गाड़ी की लालच, बंगले की लालच में फंस चुके हैं. तो इज दैट द वाइब दैट इज कमिंग आउट? ऑथर थोड़ा सा ध्यान दीजिए यहाँ पे. सालिन डेफिनेटली इज क्रिटिसाइजिंग द सोसाइटी ऑफ टुडे, but that's not his ultimate goal. His goal is to give you legit alternatives that might be possible. And secondly, he is not saying that we started off as a fairly contented egalitarian people, that एक जमाने में मानवता बड़ी खुश थी, बड़ी बड़ी संतुष्ट थी, ऐसा कहीं बोला नहीं है ऑथर ने. ओके, he is not mentioning this anywhere, so that's why option B goes for a toss. Option C, काउंटर गैल्ब्रेथ पेसिमिस्टिक व्यू. ये ऑप्शन यहीं पे बिगड़ जाता है. काउंटर मींस अपोज, एंड एज आई एक्सप्लेन्ड अ फ्यू मिनट्स अगो, both of them are in the same league. Okay, Salin is not opposing Galbraith, rather he is taking forward Galbraith के idea. So option C तो पूरे फर्स्ट हाफ में क्रम्पल हो जाता है बुरी तरीके से. ऑप्शन डी, Salin का goal is to put forth the view. What view? Despite egalitarian origins, once again the same problem. एगैलिटेरियन ओरिजिन मतलब एक जमाने में हम बहुत अच्छा काम करते थे भाई, एक दूसरे के लिए बड़े बड़े प्यार से रहते थे. ऑल ह्यूमंस वर वर्किंग फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ ग्रेटर बेनिफिट ऑफ द सोसाइटी. कहाँ है ये? कहीं भी नहीं, कहीं भी नहीं. ओके, second of our options D is actually okay, fair enough, that economic progress has brought inequality and social hierarchies. Okay, but no, it fails badly in front of option A, which is far superior in its wording and does not have this conceptual flaw. So that's why option D also out. ठीक है. So I hope that I was able to explain to you properly कि किस तरीके से option A can be selected as the answer. Still, if you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section. As I said, once again, very comprehensive passage actually. Okay, going ahead. Before we move ahead, I would like to talk to you about my institute, about my academy, about the coaching that I offer. If you are a serious CAT, SNAP, NMAT or XAT aspirant and looking for dedicated VRC coaching, please visit the description box. I've given my mail ID. Yeah, electricity is back. I've given my mail ID, my contact number and the link of my website bellthecat.co.in. You can visit that website. On my channel also you have 100 plus videos, you can go through them. They will serve as a very good demo to you about how I teach. So if you are interested in getting coaching for this, want to know about the details of my online batch for these exams, please get in touch with me and I'll help you out. Okay, all right. So moving ahead to the second question now. Author of the passage criticizes Salin. Criticism तो एक ही जगह है बॉस. ओके, छोटी सी जगह है. ओके, कहां पे? ओवर हियर, violence of colonialism, racism and dispossession. Salin does not really spend a lot of time on this. He says कि हाँ ये पूरी बातें थी ओके, लेकिन जितना हम आज क्रिटिसाइज करते हैं ना इन बातों को, जितना आज पकड़ के पीटते हैं, सालिन ने वो नहीं किया. बेसिकली सालिन लेट दिस थिंग स्लाइड. He treated them in a very light-handed manner. So which option reflects this? Option A. Cursory treatment of the effects of racism and colonialism on societies. मतलब cursory treatment में light हाथ से, हल्के हाथ से. Yes, he did that and author is not happy about this. Author के expectation थोड़े ज्यादा है, okay? कि भाई ने ये भी करना चाहिए था 50 साल पहले. Okay. All right. So option A becomes the answer. Other options are really not up to the mark. They should be easy. You should be able to easily cut them out after going through the explanation of the passage. Still, if you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section. Okay. I appreciate this passage and whoever set the questions to this, well done, well done. जबरदस्त है, बहुत बहुत अच्छा passage है. Author of passage mentions Galbraith का the affluent society too. Okay. It makes a very small presence over here in the 4th paragraph. And why has the author mentioned Galbraith and his essay? टू हाईलाइट कि अच्छा ठीक है, गैलब्रेथ भैया ने भी क्रिटिसिज्म किया था अमेरिकन सोसाइटी का एक जमाने में और हमारे माइंडलेस कंज्यूमरिज्म का. सालिन भैया इज बिल्डिंग ऑन दैट आइडिया. ठीक है, बात को आगे लेकर जा रहे हैं. सो ऑप्शन बी एक्चुअली शुड बी, यू शुड बी एबल टू थ्रो इट आउट वेरी इजीली. व्हाट डज ही से? गैलब्रेथ की थ्योरी रिफ्यूट सालिन. नो, द टू गाइज आर इन द सेम बोट. दे आर नॉट ईच अदर्स राइवल्स और दे आर नॉट ईच अदर्स एनिमीज. सो ऑप्शन बी इज आउट. ऑप्शन ए, to document the influence of Galbraith का views on Salin का analysis. Okay है, but there are certain problems around it. Document the influence ये थोड़ा ज्यादा हो जाता है. Okay? मतलब गैलब्रेथ के जो व्यूज है, इन्होंने इंस्पायर किया बहुत ज्यादा सालिन को, और ये किस तरीके से इंस्पायर किया, कितने डेप्थ तक इंस्पायर किया, ये दिखाना चाहता है ऑथर. एंड दैट इज व्हाई ही हैज मेंशन्ड गैलब्रेथ का एफ्लुएंट सोसाइटी. थोड़ा ज्यादा हो गया इन द सेंस दैट ऑथर हैज मेंशन्ड इट वेरी वेरी शॉर्ट में कि ठीक है, गैलब्रेथ भैया के जो ओपिनियन थे उसके साथ में अग्रीमेंट है. नॉड टूवर्ड, टाइटल्स नॉट टूवर्ड, मतलब सालिन ने जो ऐसे लिखा, इट इज गिविंग अ हेड नॉट टूवर्ड्स दैट. ओके, हाँ, आई एग्री विद इट. दैट्स इट. इट्स नॉट नेसेसरी दैट गैलब्रेथ इन्फ्लुएंस सालिन. ठीक है, nowhere implied that, और हम मन से ही assumption नहीं बना सकते. That is why option A is also not legit actually. Option C, show how Salin's views complemented Galbraith का criticism of contemporary society. Yes, बहुत बढ़िया ऑप्शन है ये कि yes, दोनों बंदों का ओपिनियन एक दूसरे से मैच करता है, एक दूसरे को कॉम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं. गैलब्रेथ भैया भी गाली देके गए, सालिन भी गाली दे रहा है, बहुत बढ़िया. Yes, so that is why option C is your answer. Okay. Option D, contrast the materialist nature of contemporary growth paths with the pacifist content ways of living among foragers. No, this option is wrong. Why? Because forager wala example or the point of discussion of foragers does not happen in Galbraith ka case anytime. We have no idea whether Galbraith के essay में there was any mention of foragers or anything. Forager का mention केवल सालिन के essay से हमें पता है. It's no idea whether they were present here or not. What we simply know is Galbraith was criticizing post-war American economic system. That's it. Okay? So option D also gets kicked out very clearly and C is the answer. Okay? So I hope that you understood the explanation. Let's go on to the next question. Please hit the like, share and subscribe button if you haven't done that already. Okay, serves as a massive encouragement to a humble creator like me. Also, another thing, please mention your score in the chat box, sorry, not chat box, in the comment section. Okay, makes for a very good understanding for me also to gauge your understanding and to understand what kind of audience is watching these videos. Okay, so that I can make sure to create further videos, future videos of those level. Okay, if my audience, let us say, averages with poor scores in passages like this, 1 on 4, 2 on 4, so it gives me a strong hint कि अच्छा ठीक है, okay, humanities needs to be worked upon. If you, let us say, score 4 on 4 in some other science based passage or politics based passage, so that gives me a strong hint that okay, Janta might be strong in this area. I need not make super extra efforts there. So helps me figure out the priorities and helps me put out very relevant content for you guys. Okay, all right. Moving ahead, I hope that my video is not clouding this content options. Okay. Author mentions Tanzania ki Hadza community. Why? Okay. I like to call this question category as utility based question कि क्यों अलाना फलाना का mention किया गया है. ठीक है. So where are these guys mentioned? These guys are mentioned over here. You have to read the second paragraph completely to get the right answer. And author ने मस्त लिखा है यहाँ पे. It's actually spoon feeding की है. The purpose of mentioning this foragers is not just to give you कि देखो हाँ ऐसे भी इंसान जीते हैं. No. The purpose is very profound. What? That this society of Hadza इन्होंने consciously a choice किया है. They are surrounded by farming communities, yet they are still continuing with foraging. What does this point toward? Choices. Okay, that societies make real choices. Choice वाला example कौन सा है हमारे पास में? Answer is option C. That is forager community का lifestyle. It is not because of ignorance या फिर lack of alternatives. It's because that they have choose to do that. ठीक है? So that's why answer option C. Okay. So I hope that the explanation of the passage and the questions was very clear to you. Let me know if any doubts or problems in the comment section. Thanks a lot for watching. Once again, I would like to mention that if you would like to get some appropriate coaching in VRC section for CAT, XAT, SNAP, and NMAT, get in touch with me ASAP on this mail ID or on this web contact number of mine, and I'll be able to help out to the best of my abilities. Okay. Till then, tada, bye bye, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.